Hey there, it's Liz Gracia again, and welcome to another episode of your weekly dose of higher consciousness. This particular episode is 101 Ways to Happiness. And every week we like to touch on 101 ways to happiness, peace, or success. So we'd like to rotate them out throughout the week. So this week we're on to 101 Ways to Happiness number 21. But before we get to that, I want to just let you know that this is the place to discover the foundational basics and essential understandings for raising your own level of consciousness and building a better life. So let's get started with today's 101 Ways to Happiness. It's short and sweet, and that is a cat's purr or a dog's wagging tail. And just by the way, if you're new to this video, all of these 101 Ways to Happiness, Peace, or Success is coming from Dr. David R. Hawkins' Book of Slides and the teachings of Dr. Hawkins, and putting into context where true power and truth exist in consciousness. So I mentioned calibrations throughout most of my episodes. So it's interesting to know that a cat's purr and a dog's wagging tail calibrates at 500 on the map of consciousness, which is the level of love. It's super powerful, it's super healing, and it's no wonder that when we come home from a long day at work and the dog's greeting us at the door, wagging its tail, or the cat can't wait to get up on our lap to purr and have us touch us, that it can transform our fatigue from the day or grouchiness for the day or whatever it is. It's a level of consciousness you want to kind of embrace, and you want to let go of any irritation. If you can get present with the moment, let go of any possible irritation or fatigue you may be feeling, and allow your kitty cat or your dog to do its thing. And another important thing to know is that cats and dogs in general calibrate at 250 on the map of consciousness. The household pet in general calibrates at 250, which is the level of neutrality, which is why it feels like animals are unconditionally loving, because they don't take a position on anything. Their energy is neutral. And we kind of misperceive it as unconditional love, perhaps, but it's really just neutrality. Whereas when they're they're wagging their tail or purring, they're getting in the land of love for sure, but unconditional love and inner joy calibrates at 540. So it's just interesting to put into context what we perceive as unconditional love. In reality, it's not, but it's for sure loving. And most of humanity calibrates below 200, which is interesting to know. 50% of the United States calibrates above 200, which is good to know. But to really understand and grasp that pets are of higher consciousness by nature than most of humanity. So today's 101 Ways to Happiness is to embrace and be present with your kitty cat or your dog when they're loving on you. And another good thing to know is that happiness on the map of consciousness, the energy of happiness, true happiness, calibrates at 395, and to be glad calibrates at 335. So there's a big energy, quantum leap in energy to go from being glad at 335 to being happy at 395 to being loving at 500. And those calibrations are log 10. So 335 is 10 to the 335th power. Happiness is 10 to the 395th power. And lovingness is 10 to the 500th power. So in order to align with happiness and your intention to be happy, the best way I know how to do that is to learn how to let go of the things that are getting in the way of your happiness or gladness, or just being neutral energy-wise. And I have a whole episode number 10 is all about how to let go and understand Dr. Hawkins' mechanism of letting go. Those are the blocks to to gladness, happiness, and lovingness is the stuff that's buried in your energy field, suppressed and repressed emotions that you just need to learn to get rid of. And if that's a new concept for you, it can be done. I do it every day, and I notice the results in a big way. So that's it for today's 101 Ways to Happiness. Also this week, my topic of the week is I'm sharing the book, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, and what was revealed to me in this book and how it was incredibly healing. So that's the topic of the week. And then our weekly dose of higher consciousness quiz asks, which scripture or spiritual writing is of highest consciousness? And this week we're looking at A Course in Miracles, the Bhagavad Gita, which I believe is an ancient Hindu scripture, and the Lamsa Bible, without the, let's see, what's it missing? The Lamsa Bible, the calibration of that without the Old Testament and the Book of Revelation. And it'll be very interesting to know why you got to take those two out of the mix if you want to read something that's of higher truth. So that's it for this week's 101 Ways. Next week, we're going to look at 101 Ways to Inner Peace. I don't know what our quiz is going to be. And our topic next week, I'm going to look at the Iran deal that the Obama administration made with arms, and take a look at what's going on there and why it wasn't such a good idea. See you then.